Oh, yes, I promised that I was going to come through with this, and this is another one for the men. So, we previously talked about women in relationships, and I'm going to leave a link to that video right here. It's time for the men. I thought it was just going to be a simple talk to the women, just putting one or two random advice from building the foundation of a relationship as far as the women are concerned. But that ended up taking a whole lot of time. So I had to even do that session in three parts. But right now, it's for the men. Trust me. You know, it's not difficult to predict a man. It's easy to understand a man. So basically, you can just say a man is the bad guy, the man is the boss, the big guy. But then, what the men need is advice. They just need the right advice. So you treat a man well, teach him to understand how to, you know, go about all what he does, especially in the relationship, and he will definitely be a superman. I still remain Coachman Solomons, and as always, I represent Campo the Light Network. Let's go right straight into this one. So, men in relationships, right now, we have to emphasize on the concept of selflessness, yes, and love. So, I made references to even the scriptures and standards of our society and our cultures that have told us that the women, or we meant to understand by them that the women ought to submit to their husbands. Yes. And in return, the husbands have to love their wives. So, how do you love your wife? What is even the definition of love? Love is not selfish. Love is selfless. Love is kind. Love is charity. Love gives freely. Love gives unconditionally without really expecting anything to return in that same measure. I made a few points referring to the men as well, in that even though I was talking to the women, I said, yes, these women, they have these powers that a lot of them do not even know how to exploit well. Because if you, as a woman, understand your power, you will be able to get the man to technically even submit to you at times. Yes, and your man will be ready and willing to do certain things for you. So, wouldn't you like it if you have a king, a ruler that you look up to, that is most feared by everyone in the town? The king comes to your house and helps you do your chores without you asking. Wouldn't you like that, compared to when you even have a slave? You have a slave who you feel should be able to come do these stuffs for you, but the person is acting so rude so many times and you can't get the person to do these things. So this is how it works with the men. You need to love them, you need to appreciate them, let them know that you appreciate them so much. Just like I said, it's not so difficult to understand the man. Yeah, by nature, men have certain habits that are not so good. But if you get to enlighten them more, or you put them in that position where they feel honored and respected. I'm just talking about random men now. You know, the way I'll speak to man A is different from how I'll talk to man B. So man A may be that focused man who has that idea and vision of how he wants to run his home, and then maybe probably he needs an advice or two. Then man B may just be that careless man, that arrogant man, that man that doesn't mind to cheat on his wife, and So I'm just putting everybody in this context now, and that's why I say some of these men need to learn. So, first of all, you're going into a relationship with a man. I don't know why I still find myself making a lot of references to the women, talking about the women. So, if you're going into a relationship with a man, you need to understand that these are the things you would have to cope with. So you need to have that mutual understanding with him at first, so you don't get into the relationship and then it's violence upon violence, fights, and I'm not willing to submit to him. He's taking me for granted. He's making me a slave. So these are warning signals that you should have seen from the get-go. So man, I don't know. I don't think I have so much to say to the men, but just you just have to be you just have to be selfless. See, this is a woman that God has given to you. From the history of the making of a woman was taken out of the ribs of a man. So this woman was made to assist you, to support you. She's not your slave. Even though the scriptures and your values have told you that a woman should submit to you, you have to love her in return. So just look at this like a man God relationship or a God man relationship. God loves you unconditionally. God doesn't act all dominant or super terrifying over you because he has the power over you. No. So you please God with your sacrifices, your show of submission, your worship, and all those kind of things, and then God shows you love. It's just like an exchange. It's just like an exchange. You get rewarded for these things you do. And in the spirit of selflessness, there's this beautiful lady who will always, show love and support from time to time. So I said I should show her some love here. You know, if you need something like this, perfumes, nice scents like this directly from the source in Dubai, yeah. So I even got this Dubai t-shirt from her. Just do well to follow her on her Instagram, follow her, reach out to her on the platforms that she has made available. So you can get nice scents. This is really, really brilliant. As small as it is, so powerful. I can't even spray so much of it. So just show her some love. Posh scents, yeah. Okay, before we get right back into the session, which is already looking like a virtual interactive one because the whole atmosphere is calm and then it's just a relaxed kind of conversation, I figured that I should quickly drop a few tips to the men. Just a little guide because say men they know the two get wahala and I just made them understand how these things be, so I could just drop them as a bit like that. So one of them is you have to protect your woman, and then the second one is you have to provide for your woman, and then the third one is you have to be sensitive to your woman. Now, straight right up into the first one, protect your woman. Yes, you should be able to defend your woman, and that is what I rank personally amongst the very top roles of a man. A man in a relationship, you should be able to defend your woman, you should be able to protect your territory, stand up for her. And then in different types of community and societies, animal and human kingdom, you understand, especially from the history, that many societies actually elect the strongest, the most dominant to be their ruler, and that is how it is in the animal kingdom. Just even aside the lions living together as a population of that species, when it comes to the whole community of animals in the forest, the lion is most feared, and that is because the lion is perceived by every other animal to be the strongest. Even some animals that you can even argue may be stronger than the lion, they dare not see the lion as a prey. Nobody is a predator to the lion, so the lion has that ultimate respect, and that is what strength does, and that is why you as a man have naturally been put in that position to protect her. Yes. So you should be able to stand up to anyone who wants to attack your wife. You shouldn't be in a situation of attack and then you're covering your face, you're hiding, and then your wife is trying to defend you. No, if your household is being attacked, you should have take up that responsibility of stepping up to the situation, and if it's what can be averted, you have that primary role to avert it. It doesn't just even have to do with physical aggression. Even if you're walking on the road path, little things like this, you have to protect your wife from stumbling against any obstacle on the road. You have to shield her away from whatever looks like danger. If you're walking on the sidewalk by the roadside, you have to shield her away from any possibility of getting hit by any moving vehicle or anything that moves on the road. So you have to be sensitive. Yeah, I'll still come to sensitivity, but try at all costs to want to defend your woman. And when I talk about defending your woman, I'm not saying you should cross the line, because there are lines. Don't go out assaulting other people. Don't go out assaulting people because they insulted your wife. If anyone insults your wife, yes, you need to address that. You need to step up to that, but do it in a reasonable way. Don't get violent if it's not a case of your imminent self-defense. So never hit another person for insulting your wife or doing anything harmful, saying anything that you don't like about your wife. But then you can actually go ahead and take a hit. Yes, I say it. Take a hit for your wife if that is what the aggression is looking like. And then if you can physically step up to that situation when you know it's a case of self-defense, yes, you can go ahead and do that. But you just have to be careful so you don't cross lines, so you don't fall under the law. So I talk about providing. You have to provide for your family, and that is another thing that makes one respected as the head. So go out there, get a job, do your 9 to 5 or whatever, wherever you can get money from legitimately. So you go out there, just try to ensure that you are the breadwinner of the home.